Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Brian Pickle, and we're back for another episode of PICKLETON today. So we are looking at the Grand Hotel that we placed in last episode while we got our first little initial parts of the downtown started. And of course, naturally, we are going to continue with filling in the downtown. Obviously, at the moment, it still looks a little bare and odd with just this, little spot here kind of filled in. But again, over the next couple episodes still, we'll fill out more and more of this, and I think probably a good 4 episodes out of it total will fill this entire area in, kind of filling in like it in quarters. So, we've done this side over here. Today we're going to work over here, and then next we'll kind of fill in these spaces in the next, 2 episodes or so after that. And, if we fill in more, we fill in more, and that's great. So what we're going to do today is, I think I had mentioned that we were probably going to get a hospital in. So that is where our focus is going to start today. And I did take a look at the hospital campus that Shaquille Oatmeal had pointed out, a specific place in North Carolina to look at, and I really did enjoy it. So we are going to do something similar to what is going on in that, and I might throw a little clip of it on camera here for you guys to see kind of what it looks like. But essentially, it's, a big hospital complex with several different sub-buildings kind of attached to it or like around it, which you typically do find in a lot of hospital areas. It's not just one building. It's usually a couple buildings and like research facilities or something, depending on exactly what area you're in and what the focus of that hospital might be. And what I particularly liked about it is not only is there a hospital building itself and several related buildings, but there's also an elementary school nearby and several parks. So I definitely think that that is something that I want to take into this build and have more than just the hospital. And if we actually take a look at our education, we are definitely in need of elementary schools, so that wouldn't be a bad idea to throw one in today. I can't remember because I know that I threw it in off camera, and I can't remember if I ever showed where I put it, but I did put another elementary school over here by the highway. And it's at full capacity. I upgraded it fully, and it is completely full. Now, I did also assign it to certain districts so that hopefully, people aren't traveling too far to get to this one and like not going all the way over here to our first one. We don't want people from this area going all the way over there to school when they can go right here. So I did throw in assign some districts to those. So what we're going to do first though is start in this area, and we are going to take out these 4 roads. Then I want to hop into our progression panel, and under our healthcare and death care development tree, we want to grab the hospital for 2 development points. And I'm fairly certain I want to use the Health Research Institute as well, so we'll grab that for another 8 development points as well, and that still leaves us with 10 to work with. And hopefully, over the time that we fill in this downtown, just from the progression of like how you can gain progression points just from the citizens being happy and things like that, hopefully over that time we will get to the next milestone where I think we get another couple, we always get new points, so we get 13 more development points at the next milestone and 24 expansion permits, which we have so many expansion permits, we definitely don't need any of those at the moment, but having some more development points would certainly be nice as we get into these larger, more robust areas so that we have some stuff to work with, some of the new, service buildings and things that really give the area, its purpose. So anyway, we're going to jump into healthcare and death care, and we are going to grab the hospital. And I think what I would like to do is have it, let's turn off that view. I want it a little ways back from the road because I would like to do some detailing and put a park in front of it, sort of as like a plaza. Well, I guess not a park. I want a plaza to be there. So we're going to have it kind of just back here. And we can adjust it as needed, but hopefully I can get the road and the park in there. So you know what? Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the park. That way I know that I have enough space. So if we go into Parks and Rec, I want the small plaza. So we're going to place that here. And then what I want to do is go into here and grab our alleys. And I want to draw a road straight out, connected to that building. and draw it into here. And then I think I'll just draw it a little extra just to give me some space, and then I'll figure out what exactly I want to do with that road. Then we'll go ahead into our healthcare and death care and grab that hospital. So I want to throw that right about here. I want it kind of centralized. I think I do. So we'll go ahead and throw this here. It's very expensive. So we're going to be running out of money pretty soon in this episode. I mean, not really, but we're going to be blowing through our reserves here, you know? So I think actually just for this episode, I'm gonna be a little cheeky and I'm gonna bump up the taxes just a little bit. We don't need them to be super high because we are still going to have we still have a good amount of people in the city paying taxes. So that will bump us up a ton. We're going to make, $37,000 an hour. We're good. But I want to make sure that we have enough money for all the buildings I want to put in here today. Then, since I unlocked it already, what I want to do is grab the Health Research Institute. And I want to put that right behind the hospital. So I'm going to put it here. And if we take a look at it, it's fronting this road, which is not what I want. I want it to kind of be as an extension of the hospital. So what I want to do is actually let's go ahead and throw this road back here and bring it up this way. And we'll kind of close in the building and have it come right out there. Then what I want to do is flip it around. Super simple. Just grab it and make sure it fronts this road now. And so that did give us a little bit of a problem where this doesn't have any car access. So I did not foresee that happening. But what we're going to do is we'll just knock this off the side here and budget down just enough to get that in. And there we are. So now that is all settled. And we can finish back this little alley road back here and close it in just like that. Now, I really wish what I could do is kind of block this off as only ambulances or something like that. That would be really nice, really cool. Unfortunately, that is not an option, but that would be very, very handy. Just because I feel like it would be cool to have this as an ambulance-only drive, and then they could have quick access to the highway. But, we can use our imagination and pretend that that's what it's for, even though it's definitely not going to work like that. And then I think I don't want to have too many roads going on here. So I think I'm okay just leaving this kind of disconnected there like that. I just don't want to have too many connections and people coming in from really odd angles. But I think we're good there. So if I'm not mistaken, this building does not have any additions to it. No. So that's fine. It gives a plus 10% park entertainment. So that's pretty good. And a minus 10% disease infection risk citywide. So pretty good benefits and boosts there. And then the hospital itself does have a couple upgrades. So we are going to add the specialized treatment ward. It just goes on the footprint of the building, so we don't need to leave space for it. And then the trauma center as well. Just because we do kind of have the money, so we might as well kind of, use as much of the upgrades as we can. We're not hurting for it. It'll do us, a favor in the future. So I think we're good. The only thing that I'm not going to add is the helicopter depot, or the helipad. And the reason for that is, during my testing of, this build, I ran into a consistent problem where something would go wrong with the terrain in this area. And if I have a screenshot, I'll throw it up there as well right now so you can see. Or if you're in the Discord, you will have already seen it. But anyway, something happens where the terrain goes just absolutely insane. And for some reason, any buildings, even zoned or placed, get very warped for some reason. And when I took it to Reddit to try to find a solution to this and see if anybody else had encountered this problem, a couple people informed me that it had to do with something with the helicopter pad. So, not really sure that makes any sense. I don't know why that would be. But everybody said that they encountered it when they added a helipad to the hospital. The terrain around it would go all weird and there was no way to undo it. Because you can't obviously get rid of the helipad without deleting the hospital. So, we're just not going to put it in until we know for sure that it's not going to cause problems after, certain bug fixes go out again. So we're going to leave it as that. But otherwise, I think it is a very, very lovely building. The only thing that I'm curious about is whether or not we can perhaps do things a little bit differently where I can get because I don't think I can fit any parking in here. I think this one is it's too big on that side. Or, I mean, too small. So I'm wondering if we move this down this side even further and kind of have it the opposite direction, if we can get it all the way in. So let's go ahead and knock that road off there, get our alleyway back out, and I guess we will put it all the way up to this road now. And let's get my angles in there, right? Okay. And then we'll just budge this down just a touch, kind of right up into the edge there. And then we'll hopefully be able to close this in here like this and fit some parking in here. I wish we could fit 2, but I don't think that's going to work. They're 5 deep. So I guess we'll do it sort of in the middle so that it doesn't look like there's a bunch of random empty space. And then we'll do a little bit of detailing and stuff at the end to kind of blend this all in and make it look a little bit nicer. I don't want to put any parking here because I want this to be sort of like plaza and green space. So I think I'm okay with leaving it there. And since there's not that many connections on this side, I think I will go ahead and drag this out this way, just to connect it in there. And I think we'll be good. I don't think, however, that we need a light there. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. And that can just be like, these people have to stop to get in there, but we want ambulances to be able to go through and all that good stuff. Okay, so that is part 1 done over here. Next, what I want to do is get our elementary school, which will, of course, be fully upgraded immediately because we need it. So what I'm going to do is grab our elementary school. And I think I want it to be set back a little bit from the road. I don't want it to connect to the other one, but about here. I think that should do. And then I'm going to immediately upgrade this with the extra extensions and the park. I don't think I'm able to fit the children's clinic anywhere on here with it in this configuration. And honestly, I'm okay with that. It is literally across the street from a hospital. So I don't think we're going to need the children's clinic. If they have any emergencies, they can just go to the hospital. It's right there. So we will grab our alleyway road again for over here. And what I would like to do is see if we can get kind of a roundabout situation in here. We'll drag this out and maybe get a small roundabout in. Maybe if I don't go so far in with the road, we can get this to work. I just think it would look kind of nice as a little entryway into the school. So maybe we just go out to here. Try it again. Did I go too far still? No. It works. I think I like that. I don't think that's bad. Although I am starting to think that perhaps I want the park to be close, like to be in the front. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna have, of course I have to delete the whole building to do that, but let's do it. Let's get rid of the building, grab it again. Now, I don't like to do this again because I said, you know, you sort of cheese the milestones by deleting and placing buildings, but it only gives 300, and that does not really bump us up much at this point in the game, so I guess I'm okay with it. It is what it is. So, we're connected there. Now, let's see. Can I put it on the front like this? I can. See, I think I like that. See, take us out of here. I don't know. Yeah, I think I like it like that. So now what I want to do is go ahead and grab our alleys again. And I don't think I'll be able to fit parking on that side. Parking is becoming a problem. Let's see. Let's go over here. I can fit it here right now. Let's see. But I don't think that gives me room for a road. No, it definitely does not. That's okay. We're going to go ahead, actually, and throw these over here, though. And I think I want... You know what? I actually want the medium one here. I think that'll be better. And I think they might be able to get into it from the roundabout, which I'm kind of okay with. Like, I'm okay with them being able to enter it from this side. I think that will be... I don't think that'll be an issue. I think I like that there. So... I think we're good. Oh, wait, I need to add the extensions back onto it. Look, it's already full. Holy crap. Wow, that is just insane. Okay, so speaking of, I did make our districts last episode, so that's great. Now what I want to do is go ahead and assign this to a district, and I just want it to serve the downtown. I don't want it going anywhere else. And we're probably going to need another one of these in here somewhere before we are finished. Because I know this is going to adjust, or it should adjust slightly because we only have this area being served, but it might take some time for it to do that. So I don't know. We will probably most certainly need a second one. And I think that this is kind of like an issue in the game still right now with the immense demand for elementaries versus like any of the other ones. You know, we have barely any demand for literally any of the other kinds of school. So I do think that that's interesting. I mean, everybody does have to go to elementary school, so there's that part of the equation. Like, some people don't have to go to high school or college or university, but everybody has to go to elementary school or they don't. Like, it's only one or the other. You don't have the option to, like... I feel like I didn't make that make sense. Not everybody has to go to elementary school, but to go on to everything else, you have to at least go to elementary school. And then from there, you can continue to, like, have less and less people. But I do feel like the discrepancy between 4,000 people wanting elementary and only 400 wanting high school is a little bit unbalanced. But we're not going to worry about that today. We're still just focusing right over here. And so now, what I want to do is add some buildings, finally. We're going to go through, and I think I want to zone up mostly kind of office stuff around here. Not there. I think basically in this quarter, I want a little bit of housing. So let's go ahead and throw in some mixed use. And then I basically want some high density office. A couple low density is going to be fine as well. But I definitely want these to feel like extensions of the hospital. So we're going to go through and hopefully that gets us something we like. Now, the other thing that we really need to think about in this area is because we only have this entry and exit into the off of the highway still. So we're definitely going to want to think about adding this in. And I think I'll probably do it during the time lapse once we kind of get a couple more things in. But that is definitely one thing that you want to keep in mind when you are building up a downtown. You definitely want to have access into and out of the city as many places as is reasonable. Obviously, you don't want, wall-to-wall highway exits and things, so you don't want them backing up on it all the time, but you definitely want to give them access. So I think the only other thing that I would like to add as far as like ploppable buildings before I jump into a sort of detailing and zoning time lapse is to kind of complete the idea of, this area being like a larger complex with some schools and park areas. I want to throw in a sports park, and I think I would like to do the soccer field. And I think that this area seems like a pretty good place to put it if I can get it in here. And I can get it right here off of Lake Street. So let's go ahead and take a look. I think I am very, very happy with that. And we can make it sort of an extension of the school. Like maybe, it's a rec center along with the school. So speaking of, let's see. We go into our parks and our park maintenance depot. We could maybe throw in another one of these. Do we have a problem with that? The only other one that we have is way over here at our first elementary school, kind of just tucked in over there. We can certainly upgrade this one. But we could also just place a new one and make like an entire area out of it. So I think that that's kind of what I want to do. Let's go into there and we'll grab that park maintenance depot. I want it... Let's just place it down and kind of see how it looks, and then I can move it if I want to. I think, yes, I definitely do want to move it. So I'm going to go ahead and just toss it over on this road really fast. And then I want to get our alleyways back out. They're very lovely, these alleys. I think they're a great addition to the game. So hopefully we can just get this to come in nicely. Of course it doesn't want to. Why would it? That would just make my life way too easy, wouldn't it? We'll go ahead and just plug it in right there. Get rid of that light. We don't need it. And then grab our maintenance building again. I want it to go onto that road like this. You know what, maybe I want it actually... Goodness, these buildings. Sometimes they just look really funny in the orientation that they set up in. Like I don't love that there's just this entrance back here. But what we can do is grab our alleys again. Alleys everywhere today. Go through here. And then, can I fit a small parking lot in there? Can't. I can fit them over here. So, why don't we go ahead and get a very large parking lot? Just kidding. That is very, very large. We'll do a regular large parking lot. And we'll throw it right on here on Lake Street. And this can kind of serve this entire area. And, you know what? I think a nice small park will probably go well in here. And then maybe also a dog park. I don't think that's a bad idea. A little park complex here. I think that actually turned out better than I could have imagined it would. So I think I'm good with that. So now I will go ahead and jump into a little bit of a detailing and zoning time lapse. Probably fill up most of this area in here and some of this and this. Kind of everything around the areas that we've kind of plopped buildings in today. So I'll jump into that and I will catch you when it is all finished. Okay, so I think I've got everything sort of detailed up how I would like it and zoned up how I would like it. So over here, just a little recap of kind of what exactly I did and where my mind was at with doing certain things. I had one of these giant towers right on the water, which I didn't love because here's the reason why. So when I put smaller buildings like some of the medium density ones back here, they would not have this lovely view of, I mean, well, nothing's there yet, but it is a very lovely view of the water, and I didn't want to block some of the smaller buildings from being able to see it at all. Like, yeah, these guys over here are probably not going to see it that great, like these four buildings here, but at least like this one and all of these small ones right up here can get a nice view of the water now. And I just thought it looked, this big one, I thought it looked a little bit just completely out of place right along the water. So I went ahead and moved it back, and I think we'll try to keep the density kind of situated closer to this arterial road. Now, I think we're actually doing pretty okay on traffic. I haven't noticed while I was playing any sort of massive backups or anything, but we will definitely keep an eye on things. I have considered moving part of the tram through here as well, so that it kind of comes up into here, comes back out, and then kind of continues on its route out that way. But we'll keep an eye on things. I think as we get more and more buildings up here, and especially once we decide what kind of tourist attraction we want to be here, and if we want like a legitimate tourist attraction that will actually bring people in. This, while we can pretend it's a tourist attraction, doesn't actually draw people into the city. Which, by the way, if you left comments on last video about what to do with this space, I'm not ignoring you. I'm actually just recording this before that episode has come out. I'm a little ahead of schedule here for once, finally, instead of kind of like rushing to get things done right before Thursday before the episode releases. But anyway, I'm not ignoring you if you left comments about what to do with this. It's just that I haven't gotten to read your comments yet when I'm recording this video. So don't worry, we will get to them in the next one for sure. So keep leaving suggestions for what you want to see here, as well as, suggestions for anything else that you want to see in the city. Now, I'm wondering what to do with this middle part. I could leave it kind of empty, which is not a bad idea, just to kind of eliminate an excessive amount of traffic on these arterial roads, these 3-lane roads. So let me know if you want to see any buildings in here or what other kinds of things you would like to see. Could just make it like a nice little park space kind of all the way through. I'm okay with that. I'm not opposed to that idea. I think that would probably look really nice. And as well as any other service assets that you want to see, probably we can fit another big building somewhere in this area. And maybe something over here. We could try to get more into like compact zoning of like homes kind of in this way and move kind of out of our high density and back into kind of mass zoned residential suburbia. So let me know your thoughts on that, and we can, kind of play around with that idea. We will definitely keep an eye on some of these commercial buildings because they're having some problems with customers. I replaced one with a little bit of an office building, which I did mean to be a small one, so we'll see how that works. I don't know if I'd like that. Actually, I'm just gonna rezone it immediately. I don't like it being that weird skinny building. So, but otherwise, I think we're pretty good with it. And this, of course, looks like it's our signature building that we unlocked. So we unlocked one of our mixed use, I think. Yeah, mixed use residential signature buildings, which I forget what it was. Probably 1,000 cells of mixed use housing. I don't know. But anyway, we did unlock it, but it looks like it's struggling a little bit with not enough customers. So we could just probably increase the density around here just a touch to kind of accommodate this guy. But I think this was a great place to put it. I'm hesitant to put any taller buildings around it because I like how it's not completely out of place next to some towering building. Oh, and then what do you know? The notification went away. Very happy with that. I'll take it. I'm not going to think about any more about it. I'm going to move on before I jinx it. So we've got our hospital and the schools. So what I was doing over here with the school was really I just wanted to have very, very dense trees. It's kind of in the middle of the downtown. There's lots of buildings nearby, high-speed roads. I kind of wanted to, since we don't have access to any fencing, I wanted to make this like a very dense forest border so that once these trees grow up, this will be like a very dense looking area where the trees will kind of completely cover any of that grassy space. And I think that kind of gives the idea of like that it's protected from all of that traffic and noise and whatnot, because you got little kids here and stuff. So that's kind of where I went with kind of trying to very, very individually place all of these trees in as much, fill up the space as much as I possibly could with trees. So, and then I ended up deciding to switch this from all green space to I added another parking lot. I think this area needs another parking lot. We could always do an underground one again as well, or like, I haven't unlocked them yet, but because I did ask about that in last episode, whether or not we wanted to see them quite yet, these underground ones in our development tree. So we could go with something like that or the automated one, but let me know again, and again, if you've left comments about this, I will see them shortly, but feel free to keep letting me know whether you want to see these kind of implemented in this downtown, and we can work on figuring out how to spend our points to get to here soon. So, to either one of these. But so I went with the parking lot, and then I decided that it might be nice for kind of hospital staff or something to have a little bit of an area to go grab a bite to eat in between shifts or something, or maybe like some late night little restaurant to go to when they get off, of their graveyard shift or whatever. So that's kind of where I went with that. And yeah, again, also just for everybody's sake, probably hates this. This is not gonna stay here. I would like to make it more part of a cargo harbor at some point, maybe in this area, but we'll have to be careful with doing too much industry on this side of the water here, because if we do take a look at our wind, it does go directly into the downtown. So we will have to be a little bit careful with it, but we'll see what we can get away with at that time. That's very far into the future. Right now, we're here. We're here in downtown right now. So, and then I filled out this area with a couple more parks. I got a community pool in. So we're getting very nice up in here, I think. I think this is probably a very expensive area to live in, I would imagine. But otherwise, I think I'm pretty pleased with how it has turned out. I really like this kind of park space here. I like that we get a little bit of a break between all of the high density. I don't want this area to be just completely, skyscrapers. I do want there to be a little bit of variety. You do see that in the real world. It's not just, you go downtown and it's nothing but skyscrapers. I mean, some places there are probably, more Chicago is a little bit more like that, for example, but like where I live, there's a good mix of both. So I wanted to kind of play around with that idea, and I think I really, really enjoy the results. Feel free to let me know what you think of it down below. If you liked it, you can just leave a like. If you don't like it or you want to see something different, feel free to leave that in the comments. And if you're looking forward to seeing the rest of the city and kind of filling out the rest of this downtown, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you can be alerted when the next episode drops. But otherwise, that is all I have for you today. I'll let you enjoy some cinematics on your way out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you next time.